Hello, everybody. It's Basic Blokes here today, and I'm Eric, and this is.
Dom, hello everyone.
Yep. And we thought we'd do something a little bit different today. We thought we'd be talking about video games. I know why. Why are we talking about video games? Because we love video games, but we also love talking about video games. And also, the topic today would be about moments in time in our history where we felt maybe games were changing. Well, like this was the moment in history of gaming we thought, okay, this particular game is going to be the new breakthrough in the way games are. And also moments in where we're playing games and how maybe games moved us and were more emotionally invested in games. So we thought we'd be talking about this subject, and I thought we'll be definitely asking Dom these questions. So Dom, when was that moment of a game that you was playing that you felt like, wow, this is going to be revolutionary. It's going to change games for the way they are right now.
Oh, 100%. It was the release of World of Warcraft. It was I predominantly played Warcraft 3 for a very, very long time. And then this whole concept that you could have a whole universe where you were playing with your friends all together, having these big legendary battles, and it not, it wasn't just some funky system, because it wasn't the first game to give this a go, because there were things like PlanetSide, for example, and you had EverQuest, but they were never quite the whole. I don't know. I feel like they didn't really capture the magic. But then you had this game that was fluid and fun, and you're getting groups of parties, and there was loot, and there were characters, and real special moments, and then there was PvP, and I sunk so many hours into that game, and it was the this is the at the time I thought gaming can't get any better than this, and obviously gaming changed, but for me, like the connecting of people was like on a scale that I never even imagined. Because I can remember, like, the multiplayer elements was what got me into gaming, and I can still remember the very moment that I got into gaming, like probably because my granny bought me a Game Boy, and before that I had a Travel Vision, and I absolutely loved it. But my dad would drive me around in his van all day, and we went into WH Smith's, and I saw it there, and it was this magazine called PC Gamer, and it was like the new alpha release of Counter-Strike Go. Counter-Strike. And I was like, oh, what's this? And, it had the CS team on there, shooting the terrorists. And I installed it, and I can't remember what level it was, but I remember going on to one of the maps, and I saw an elevator, and I got in there, and I turned the switch on the elevator on in the level, and it went up in a multiplayer game, and I was just like, oh my god. It was, what is this? It's like I could go up an elevator, I'd spend all the time in this elevator going up and down, but absolutely loved it. And but that was the multiplayer, and then World of Warcraft came out, and it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's some good choices, actually. Like, I remember playing Counter-Strike, but I didn't have the luxury of playing it on a PC just yet. My friend had remember the Counter-Strike that came out on the original Xbox?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was terrible, but we loved it. We played that on his house, and I was like, wow. That's when I started getting into like those shooters and stuff. Like, I was getting really into shooters then, but like I didn't know how competitive it could get. It was just crazy. But yeah, I remember playing that. I know you played a little bit of WoW, but not too much. But yeah, I could see a lot of people just getting investing hours and days and whatever on that. But yeah, no, that's awesome.
I think WoW set the baseline for what social connection in an MMO. I mean, a lot people talk about the game. I mean, the game was fantastic. It was, but it was the social connections that people made. I often talk about the friendships that I made inside those kind of games, and I feel that the problem with games today is that with the rise of toxicity, or just the way that they have created their server models, they've really sterilized what used to be, the best part of gaming, which was the socializing, making friends, connecting with people. Like
social interaction with people nowadays is pretty much nil to void because people don't want to interact with people because of the toxicity that's out there.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing Day of Defeat, I had a handful of servers that I played on, but I was really I was viciously protective of them, and I wanted, made sure that no one was cheating on them. There was no toxicity. If there was any bad actors, they would have been removed. And I don't have control of that anymore. And as I've got older, those are the things that mean way more to me. Give me a good game, but give me the ability to have a great connection with it. And I feel like the social aspects of, I understand that there are dangers in it, but the connecting with people, I feel, is now way more difficult than it should be inside of gaming.
Yeah. I agree. It's amazing though. Like the game could be average, but the social interactions between that game could be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel EverQuest again is another great example of that. It's it's. I mean, back in the day, it would have been seen as something great, but yeah, people, they had great times with it, and all those things.
I met so many amazing people when I played Call of Duty. Like when I just got into my Xbox 360 and I started meeting friends through there and we had our own clan. And yes, was it as toxic as it is now? Probably a little bit, maybe here and there where you get in some heated arguments with other teammates. But overall, the camaraderie between our teammates, we had 30 plus people. So whenever you jumped on Call of Duty Black Ops, you'd always have your teams to play. And if it got too toxic, we'd do custom matches between ourselves, and then when we lost, but we took it on the chin and had fun with it, and we'd help each other out, say, hey, you do this loadout here, and what map should we do? Oh, let's do this one and do that one. We'd set up games and stuff, and then you'd know these people, you exchange numbers and emails and stuff like that. And I eventually got to meet some of these people in real life, and talk to them, and now 12, 13, 14 years later, still good friends with a lot of them, and that is definitely what is lacking in online gaming today, that connection where you can just jump on a server. Hey, how you doing? No one wants to do that anymore because they just feel like they're going to be just cancelled or toxic comments and stuff like that. It's just it's a door being closed each time a new multiplayer game comes out. It's they're not giving you options. I used to go on forum pages and say, hey, I've got a clan here, looking for some more people. If you want to join us, just send us some details and stuff. But all that's going as well. You just don't want to send that information out because you're afraid someone's going to be some toxic arsehole.
Yeah,
it's a real shame.
I avidly go through Reddit. I'm a big Redditor, and I troll, not troll, the social groups, make friends, gamer pals, for example, and you look through there and there is a sea of people who are lonely, who just want to make friends and find people to play with and have a bit of a connection with. And it's sad to see. And as you say, some of the best friendships I have made have been through gaming, because we have that commonality. I mean, where else? I know social landscape has changed now, but it's not like you can go down to your local pub or even work to a certain degree and go hey, I'm oh, do you play Counter-Strike or do you play EVE Online or anything? You just get funny looks. So where else are you meant to find people that you get on with? And I think with the introduction of live service gaming, now it being about the carrot on the stick, there is and the protection of those elements, they've it's nullified a lot of the social services that we used to have, like private servers, because people are worried that they're going to abuse XP mechanics to get faster leveling and all that kind of thing, and it's sad.
It's really sad. Even when I was playing a game that's kind of not, I wouldn't say it's mediocre, but probably frowned upon. I started playing Star Wars Battlefront, the one that EA released.
Yeah,
really enjoyed that game, and because Star Wars has a dedicated fan base, and I had some people joining me through my stream when I was streaming on Twitch at the time, and we made some good friends there. And they said, "Hey, look, we're part of a Facebook group of Star Wars fans who play this game, just solely play this game." And I joined up with them. And, I don't talk to them as much as I used to because I don't play Star Wars as much. But at that time, it was heaps of fun. We'd do private matches and have a little laugh. But they were our age group and from all parts of life, like Scotland, UK, Germany, USA, and very supportive people. Just really, and they were like the same. They're just we all got passionate about something that we all liked, which was Star Wars, and we all talked about it, and we all had something in common to talk about. But like you said, you can't just go to the pub and say, "Hey, do you play COD? You want to join some games?" And they look at you like, "What?" Because I work in like a really male-dominated workforce, like it's blokes sort of stuff, and I couldn't just go to them, "Hey, tonight I'm going to go and do some." Some Monster Hunter tonight. I'll need some guys to team up with. You want to do some Monster Hunter with me? They'll look at me and say, "Shut the fuck up." It's not going to happen. But if you go online and look for a forum that with some Monster Hunter players, they more than welcome. They're more than happy to help you. So, but yeah, it's unfortunate you got to go to another source to look for gamers now, where it should be right there for you when you jump in the games. Like, it's a shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah, this is what I'm really looking forward to Diablo 4, because you've got the clan system, everyone can log in, everyone can share the experiences. There's going to be group activities that require you to get with people and therefore force you to, seek out kind of soft pseudo relationships with people, which hopefully will ignite into something a little bit more exciting. Like, I think a lot of games die off, I feel, because like they just don't cultivate that kind of FOMO, let's go do something with your friends, etc. It's all about what you're doing and what you're, as a skin. Like, why don't game for companies, for example, imagine you can get this skin, but it requires you to play as a team with your mates for 10 hours. It could be
team. You could have the word team, like TEAM, right? And everyone has their own letter, right?
Yeah.
And they get the shirt that spells team.
Yeah.
When they do a squad thing, and they can all line up and have like, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
There you go.
Yeah, they should do. Yeah, there you go. Anyone watching right now, if you're a game company, we're giving you ideas. There you go.
Yeah.
And
I think that there have been a few come out of the woodwork recently. Like Fall Guys, I thought was pretty good at getting people together and playing as a group and the fun of it, and the team activities. Like even my missus got into Fall Guys because it was just one of those low tier entry games that everyone can enjoy.
Fun.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of fun on that game. Like I said, done with that with the community and stuff like that. We had an absolute laugh. Party games are good. Party games do get people together, like Jackbox and stuff like that, when you're not getting trolled by idiots. But sort of games like that do help, but they're far and few between.
Yeah.
Every game that's online should have some sort of way of bringing people together, to work together, to play together, and not shun them away.
Yeah, and and that doesn't just necessarily mean put them in a box and then you're in a party and that's it.
No, exactly. Here, you got to work together now. Yeah, but he said something about my mum, so I hate him. Yeah, but you got to work on that.
Yeah.
No, I agree wholeheartedly about that. But yeah, okay. Well, so you've obviously played a lot of games. What about a game where you was playing it and it just like hit you right in the feels?
Oh, like it was yesterday. So I was playing Homeworld, and it's the last level, and the game has got this beautiful narration to it all the way through. Every time you complete a level.
What is Homeworld, if you want to explain? Because I don't know what Homeworld is.
Okay, so Homeworld is it's a space 3D strategy game, and events happen that cause you to basically leave your planet and go off and search for your homeworld, and you build a big mothership, and they put all the everyone into cryogenic freezing, and then you go off on this adventure. but a series of things happen along the way, and there are people who don't want you to find your homeworld. And the last level, I don't know why, but I can still remember crying to it because like you're like surrounded by the Higari fleet and everything's like about to go to pure shit, and the music is amazing and the hairs stand on the back of your neck. And I was 14 at the time, so it was like, I didn't really buy into much emotional stuff. I was pretty dented in that sense. But it just hit me, and it just, I was just like, and I can remember weeping to it, and it was magical. Funny enough, the older I've got, the more in touch with my feelings I have become. And I cry way more at movies now than I ever did, prior before.
Don't get me started on movies, because like when you got kids and they cry through a Disney movie and stuff like that, and you're like, and they'll say, "Why is the dog not his friend anymore?" I don't fucking know. We've had too many crying sessions in this house. Land Before Time, Fox and the Hound. Honestly, those movies were like weeping sessions in therapy for weeks.
Oh goodness me! Fox and Hound was terrible one.
I haven't played. Which one?
Fox and Hound was a terrible one. That was awful for feels.
Yeah, my daughter loved that movie, so I had to keep watching it with her. And when she was 4, she said, "Look, why aren't they?" She'd always say the same bit. "Why aren't they friends anymore?" She would start sobbing, and her little jowls would be like this. Then I'd be like, bottom lip, be like, "No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." And she'll start crying, and you look at your daughter crying. You're like, fucking stupid animals making me cry. But it's emotional. You can't help it. Like Disney just knows how to get you in the feels. I think I was pretty late in life when games started getting me in the feels. Like I played a lot of games but I think as the older I got, my game style changed.
Yeah,
and I think it's changing again recently. But I think the moment I got something like really emotional hit me was the ending of the first Red Dead Redemption.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Yeah, like that really is like a moment in gaming history, because you think like John Marston's there, he's doing really well. He's finally beat all. He's won. You have a false sense of security in that game. All right, and if you don't know what the ending of it is, too bad. Spoiler alert. But he's on the farm there, and then the sheriff comes in, and all the bad guys there, and he knows he's going to die. It's his moment, and it's really. And I was like, you feel like it's you dying. Like that's how I felt like, because I've done all this stuff in the game, hours spent, days spent to get to where I am now, to have my character killed, to have this person I've done this journey with killed off, and it really hit me. I was like, no, this is not happening. I've got to get out of it. But then he dies, and I was like, wow, that really hit me. That really got me in the feels. I was like, I don't know how to deal with that. And then the ending where you come back as a Sunrise Revenge is great. But when that moment where he just takes all that lead and just lays there, and your kid and wife are laying there sobbing over you, yeah, it got me. I was tearing up. I was really teared up. I really, because I was married at the time, and my wife was looking at me, watching me playing this game. She said, "Are you crying?" I said, "No." And it's like, I'm not crying. And she said, "You're crying." I said, and she said that I did not expect a video game to hit me like that. So I think people were expecting, like back in the day, like movies would be your emotional outlet, like movies, music, but gaming's moving so far in advance. They're now becoming the emotional outlet, like for a lot of people. There's a lot of games that they like, especially like Last of Us, another game where it was a very emotional game where you got you in the feels in so many levels. Well, for me anyway. I feel that that's what gaming is doing now. It's tapped into us and is now becoming our endorphins. It's kicking to our endorphins. It's becoming our emotional. Whether it's angry when you're playing Call of Duty Online or Battlefield, or some sweaty game, or some really well story driven character where you love these characters, you invest in these characters, and you want them to be safe and happy, and then, or the survival horror genre, where that is just now doing so well with just scaring the living piss out of us. Like I just played Resident Evil 4, and that was fantastic, and that got me a lot of jump scares. Really done really well. The game's amazing, by the way. Go check out Resident Evil 4 Remake. You will not be disappointed. But yeah, honestly, I think gaming right now is just it's just hitting us in the feels all the time, and also in our pockets. There's just too many games coming out.
There are
There's
a
just
lot
too
of
many
games.
There's a lot of games coming out.
Trying to think. I can't. Yeah, Homer was the last time I remember getting really emotional. But the game, I don't know what it is. It's like when I watch a film or a series, the best ones that I can always are most memorable for me are the ones that I cannot guess the ending, that keep me going. And there's a few real iconic ones. Dark was is a German TV series on Netflix that just that takes you for a wild ride, and I absolutely loved it.
Recommended it to me. Yeah, you told me to watch that.
So the other one, but the other one, right, was Half-Life 2, and I still can feel my jaw muscles as they slacked, and I just
finished Half-Life 2. I need to finish it.
The ending to that was just. I could have guessed a million times, and I never would have seen it coming. It's just blows my mind. It's still even to this day. I was just like, okay, you got me, Valve. You got me. I just didn't see it coming. It was so good.
I need to play that game. Maybe I need to play that game like next. I don't know.
The ending was so good. I still, hands down, my favorite. Like the game all the way through was like it was a good shooter and stuff and fun, and I enjoyed playing as Gordon Freeman. But the ending got me really hard. It just I didn't see it coming. I just didn't. It was like I just what. Oh man! And anyone who
it's good when games throw you off. If any games that do that throw you off, are good. Like I like that. I really do.
Yeah.
But there's so many games like that you don't expect where the ending comes through there, and you're like, "Wow, what's going on here?" And it just throws you right off, and you're like, "Jesus."
Yeah.
Do you think maybe games nowadays are getting a little bit more predictable with the ending? With their
to be honest, I haven't played enough story-driven games to really work out what's happening. I think the thing with film versus games is that because you're taken on an adventure and there's so many side stories and side quests, it's often difficult to work out, what is going to happen. And I quite like that about gaming, that I don't necessarily instantly see what the end result is going to be, because I don't know what the steps in between are going to be. Films are a bit more formulaic because often they're put into a hour and a half section, or at least with TV series you're not doing anything. All you can do is process about what variables are being given to you, and then working out, and they all usually have to set up a story at the beginning to then work out what's gonna happen to the end. So
no, that's true.
I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think that games are becoming more grandiose, more cinematic. Definitely more cinematic. Like, every game wants to give you that AAA experience. Even indie games. Like, I think indie games are definitely trying to compete with other games, of course. But I think indie games are definitely still trying to cater to people who want a different experience. I think. And I think people who are complaining that there's nothing out there, there's nothing to play, I'm tired of all the same shit. It's like, well, you really need to go and check out the indie scene, because the indie scene is basically bringing in some really amazing stuff right now. There's a couple of games I'm looking at. The one I showed you the other day, that 2D side-scroller game set in the future. It's got like that synth wave. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah, I am so keen for that game. Really am keen for it. I just like the look of the aesthetics. I mean, it's got that retro vibe. It's got like the 80s vibe, sort of like Terminator-esque sort of thing, cyberpunkish sort of thing. There's so many games coming out. Like, honestly, people just really need to broaden their horizons and just see what's in the indie scene and check out what the indie games are. And not only that, you're supporting some really amazing content creators who can bring out more games, who can bring us more story-based driven experiences and stuff like that. Instead of just playing the constant thing over and over again, just definitely try out that indie scene, because I think the indie scene is doing really well. I wish I could say the same thing about AAA experiences. I mean, they're a bit of a hit and miss at the moment. A lot of big games coming out, either delayed or broken or just half-assed, half-baked, half-cooked. I mean, like, the most recent thing is like the Last of Us PC port just come out, and people are complaining about that, how the PC port's not doing very well. They're not very happy with it, and that's not good. I mean, the game, how long has that game been out for? 10, 12 years?
Yeah.
And it's on PS5, runs like a dream, and they bring it to PC, and now people are complaining on how badly they can't upgrade the graphics, and it's not running well. Frames suck. I mean, yeah, it's just it really makes it hard, because you obviously want to play the game on your PC and have like the best visuals, the looks, and the frame rates and stuff like that, and you think this should be a no-brainer, and they keep still dropping the ball. What are your thoughts on that?
What, AAA studios taking the mickey? I mean, yeah. I mean, PC ports are hard because, and often they put them out to third-party studios. They don't actually do the port themselves.
Yeah, no, I think they should do the port themselves. I don't know why they don't.
But I agree with you in the sense that indie studios create currently the most repeatable and fun games. The ones that I keep going back to are made by these little studios because they've got novel mechanics that haven't been done before, and often there are a lot of roguelikes in there, but at the same time I feel the small indie studios are really good at creating what I call like feature games. So they have a novel mechanic that's really good, and I want to keep repeating that mechanic for a while. But as soon as they try anything in a big production scale wise, they drop the ball. And then it's just not. Then it's just like, well, this is like the poor man's version of X. Recently, I played the early access version of the new. It's like an elvish version of Grounded, and it's got some cool ideas in it, but it's just. It was just a bit boring. It was just a bit empty and just. Is
it that small?
Yeah, I think it's called Small. The one that's got the logo that looks like it's been taken from Shrek. And
yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
So it just didn't grab me, and I'm like, oh, why did I spend the money on this? And those type of games I tend to, and then that knocks my confidence in indie titles and makes me knock my confidence in early access games. So it's damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of like you got to, do I invest in this game or I don't? And that's another thing. I know a lot of games that are coming out there with live services and all this sort of stuff, and I feel that there's just so many games out there. Like, remember, like back when we were growing up, like you'd see a logo in your most favorite video game magazine, whatever you was reading, PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo, and they would have like a logo or something like that to promote this game, and it'll be out next year, and you'd get a game, but there'll be far and few between big game titles. But every week something big's coming out, or something relative is coming out weekly, and they want all your money. And I was like, I've only got so much money and so much time to play all these games. So it's just really hard to keep up with it all.
Yeah.
So that's why I like Game Pass. I'll see some games on there I haven't tried or I haven't invested money into because I didn't want to. I can try them out, and if I like it, I'll keep playing it. If I don't like it, I can uninstall it and play something else. That got me into the Metro series. Like the Metro games, played number 3. I haven't really touched much of first 2. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think it was one of the best games I played last year. It was really good. Amazing sound quality, amazing visuals, great story. and it made me want to play the other two now. So, I think gaming services like that is really good, where you have an option to say, okay, I pay like $80 a year, and I get like several hundred games a year to play or mess around with. I think it's really good because there's a lot of people out there who can't fork out $100 or £60, wherever you're coming from, for a new game and find out it's crap or you're not going to play it much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely think we just got to check out what we want to buy and see what our other options are. And I think the indie scene too is like they're cheaper games, and some of them have really got some good replay value into them.
Yeah, agreed. That's almost all we've got time for. I'm gonna finish with a theory that we'll discuss in further episodes, and that is, I think we are a stone's throw away from Steam launching their own subscription-based service.
It won't take too long. I mean, you've got the portable, what's the Steam Deck?
Yeah.
They'll do it.
There's too many games now on Steam to not garner some sort of subscription service on there. But we'll talk about that another time, because that's all we got time for on this week's episode of Basic Blokes. So thank you for everyone for listening. Find us at Basic Blokes on all our socials, and we'll be back from soon. So bye-bye from me.
And it's bye from me. Take it easy.